Hello and welcome back to Pat's Kitchen. Today we are going to be using everybody's favorite high protein yogurt, the Greek kind. Or depending who you ask, might be Turkish, might be from somewhere else. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of different people eat this kind of yogurt. It's pretty much just like thick, higher protein than normal yogurt. Very popular amongst the fitness community. However, the plain kind is quite tart. Not everybody likes that. Not everybody is a fan. But today, we are going to be trying 3 recipes that turn this into something tasty and delicious. First recipe we're gonna be trying is no churn frozen yogurt. I love frozen yogurt. It's probably one of my favorite foods. So making it at home is a dream come true. Let's make dreams come true. Here's everything we're gonna be using for the frozen yogurt. The recipe also called for 1 vanilla bean. I could not bring myself to buy 1 vanilla bean, nor did the store have one, so I wasn't about to go to a completely different store to get one. First things first, we need to let our gelatin bloom. What does that mean? I don't know, but that's the first step. So I'm going to do 1/8 cup, oopsie, of water. That's 4 tablespoons. Half a teaspoon unflavored gelatin. It says to sprinkle it in there. I'm not sure how important the sprinkling method is, but we'll do it. Now it says while that is blooming, we are gonna take our milk. Ta-da! I have regular whole milk. I would recommend you use the same, but ultimately use whatever you want. And it's the same amount, so 1/8 cup, which is 4 tablespoons. Nice. And then it says to microwave it for 1 minute, which seems like a long time. I'm gonna do 40 seconds. Okay, now that we have our warm milk and our gelatinized gelatin, combine. And mix for, it says 5 minutes. It looks like it's already mixed, so I don't know, mix for a little bit. I love the way warm milk smells. It is very distinct, like it's stinky. It smells like something. Maybe it just smells like milk, but like slightly more milky. I really like it. Next step, if you have the bean, you should de-seed it now and put it into a large bowl. I don't have any vanilla bean here, so we're just going to skip that part and get the large bowl and put our condensed milk and other things in there. Condensed milk, about half the can. Now that's 8 ounces. Wow, it's kind of a lot. Actually, it wasn't 8, it was only 7. My bad. Bruh. You know what else this is super duper good on? Shaved ice, or like crushed ice. If you're able to crush or shave an ice, put this on it. It's so delicious. Anyway, continuing. About half of an 1/8, so like 1/16 teaspoon of salt. Yeah, eyeball that. Because I don't have the vanilla bean, I'm gonna do 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. If you have the bean should be enough. Next, go ahead, add the milk gelatin mixture in there. Nice. If you have a whisk, whisk it. If you don't have a whisk, no biscuit. Just kidding. I don't know, mix it with a fork. That's what I would do. Try to get a little froth action going in there. Last step is vigorously whisking in the Greek yogurt. I'm a little bit afraid, so I am going to move to a bigger bowl. Vigorously whisk in about a half a cup at a time. Total is gonna be 1.5 cups. Oh, frick. Vigorous whisking. Vigorous whisking. Drop a comment below if you like plain Greek yogurt. I personally really like it, but I can understand that it's kind of an acquired taste. I think it's cool that you can use it for sweet and savory items. I'm gonna see more of that today. Vigorously whisking. Vigorously whisking. Okay, now that we've vigorously whisked in our 1.5 cups to, I'd say that's relatively frothy consistency, we're gonna put it in this bread loaf. This is a 9" by 5". If you don't use inches, I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, you could probably use whatever kind of loaf you want. Final step, cover with cling wrap. Plastic wrap, whatever you want to call it. Wow, this plastic wrap really sucks, but okay. You're supposed to press lightly so that it like actually touches the stuff. Lightly. This is what it ended up looking like before we put it in the freezer. Freeze for about 4 hours, says up to a week. We're gonna check on it in a bit. Okay, several hours later, let's see how that frozen yogurt is coming along. Ooh. It's like mildly soft, but it did say to let it sit for like a few minutes before serving. So this is probably like right around the perfect texture. This is what it looks like. It tastes pretty good. It still tastes like a little bit tart, but it's pretty good. Definitely don't let it freeze all the way unless you like that, like super hard, cold brick, but it's good like this. Next, we're gonna go for everybody's favorite party treat, or I guess anytime treat if you're living luxuriously enough to have them all the time. Deviled eggs. Step 1, boil your eggs. I'm gonna make 6 because I know that I can very easily eat all 6 of these. Is there any other time I would casually eat 6 eggs? Honestly, no. Can I eat 6 deviled eggs? Any day of the week. The instructions on egg boiling are: eggs in the pot, cover with water, bring to a boil. Once it's at a boil, turn off the heat. Then let the eggs sit in there for 15 minutes. If you have a different way of boiling your eggs, by all means, boil as you wish. Okay. Now we need to cool our eggs. A great way to do that is to run cold water over them on a spoon. Or this is also kind of fun. You can give your eggs an ice bath. That's kind of silly. Next, peel your eggs. Next, separate the yolks from the egg whites. And yolks into a food processor or blender. Very good. If you don't have a food processor or blender, just mash it, I guess. Just get a little crumbled up. Now we add the rest of our ingredients into the blender. 2 tablespoons. Honestly, I kind of feel like most of these things are like to taste, but we're just gonna go by the measurement. 1 teaspoon. White distilled vinegar, 1 teaspoon. Sugar, 1/4 teaspoon. I'm gonna put salt, 1/4 teaspoon. Now you blend this until smooth. This recipe is not working. I'm gonna put it in a bag. Chef Pat Special, transfer that into a bag. I just think my blender's not prepared for the intensity that is deviled eggs. Ow! That should be good. Okay, now that it's in a bag, mash it in the bag. Real MacGyver. Pro hack, cut a small hole. Perfect. Now, refill your eggs. Nice. Ooh, it's powerful. It's moving them around. Final touch, we have some extra seasonings. I have everything bagel without the salt and dill. You can season really however you want though. The moment of truth. Cheers. Super good. I have a confession. I used to not like deviled eggs. I used to think they were kind of nasty. I didn't understand them. But now that I am an egg enthusiast, I've grown into the maturity that is liking deviled eggs. And this is a pretty good recipe, and it really wasn't that hard to make, so. Okay, final recipe. After thoroughly enjoying 3 of those eggs, we are on to biscuits, which I think will go great with everything we've made so far. You can have your eggs and biscuits and follow it up with some frozen yogurt, so I'm pretty excited. First step, preheating the oven to 425. Next, here's the ingredients we will be using today. Looks like a little unflavored, a little lacking of taste, but I'm sure if you want to add other flavoring, you can do that. Step numero uno, whisking together our dry ingredients. All-purpose flour, 1 cup. White sugar, 1 tablespoon. I forgot to show this in the ingredients, but also salt, 1/4 teaspoon. Baking soda, 1/8 teaspoon. Baking soda is honestly good for like actually everything. It's good for cleaning, it's good for baking, it can be used to wash your face, it can be used to brush your teeth. I don't know why the government hasn't banned this, considering it's just the best thing ever. Anyway, baking soda. Baking powder, 1 teaspoon. Whisk it together. Any bakers out there, let me know if the whisking really does make all the difference, or if we regular plebeian home chefs can just use a fork. I think I watched somewhere or read somewhere that it does make a difference, but does it? Butter, 1/4 cup, cut into cubes. Add that in there. Oh, goodness. Those aren't cubes, but their shape. Huh? Now you get that butter in there until it resembles coarse crumbs. So, I feel like this is gonna take a while. Bringing out the big gun, the big fork.
One eternity later.
Okay, this looks enough like coarse crumbs to me, so now we're gonna put it in the freezer for 5 minutes to let it chill out after it just got absolutely demolished.
5 minutes later.
It's time to add our special guest star ingredient, which is 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. Nice. Now the very last ingredient is adding seltzer water, just to make it like a dough, moist. There's not a super strict amount, so I'm gonna start with 1/8 cup. And if it needs more, it needs more. Maybe just a little bit more. We'll start 1 tablespoon at a time. Had to move on to God's utensils. My meat mitts. Let's try a little piece of raw dough. I used to eat raw dough all the time as a child, that Pillsbury that you'd have to smack the container against something and then it would just break open. I love those. And this tastes exactly like that, so pretty excited. I'm gonna coat like a small layer of that. It says place dough on a floured piece of parchment paper and pat into a flat rectangle. Fold the rectangle into thirds. Rotate dough 90 degrees, gather any crumbs. Flatten into a rectangle again. Repeat folding, turning, and flattening twice more. Flatten dough to 1/2 inch thickness. Cut into 12 2.5 inch rounds. Transfer rounds into baking sheet. Bake for 10 to 15 minutes. That sounds super complicated. I don't even know what that means. Let's try. Okay. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just put it in little balls. Okay, this is the finished product. I am slightly worried because I definitely have no idea what that instruction part was about, like shaping and rectangles, triangles, layers. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Into the oven it goes. 10 to 15 minutes. And obviously, I think I already said this, not very flavored. Not that biscuits are usually that flavorful, in my opinion. They're kind of whatever, unless you add cheese on them. But feel free to add flavoring as you wish. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. I just looked at them. They're not looking very ripe, but I'm gonna check it out anyway. This is what they look like. A little bit potentially mildly raw. That's okay. Ooh, no, they're perfect. Oh my, oh, it's burning my hands. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's insane. That's insane. That's insane. These biscuits, I feel like a freaking patty cake baker's man.
What the hell?
Bus. I'm honestly pretty stoked on these recipes because all of these are very delicious. This one surprised me the most. I don't know why I didn't realize biscuits were so simple, but that's incredible. This right here, to me, perfect, beautiful meal. So I will enjoy shortly. Before I do that though, I'd like to say thank you for making it this far in the video. If you could do me a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. These are the other places to find me, and leave a silly comment below because I always love hearing from you. Let me know a Greek yogurt recipe you like, if you have any, or if you're looking forward to trying one of these. I hope to see you in the next video. Adios!